Must be a raid on the airfield.
Or just shooting at shadows. Oh, nervy, the Germans. We've been raiding in the part of Calais, Peter told me.
How did Peter know?
Had it from Joe Lebec.
Joe Lebec?
Well, what Lebec told Peter was that he was in St. Malo.
When?
Last week. Met the skipper of a barge.
You mean he took his boat in St. Malo, did he?
Yeah.
He must be mad.
That's a good one. Oh, yeah, he always has been. Even so, he was in St. Malo, and this barge skipper he knows who'd come down from Rouen told him we'd landed troops one night near Le Touquet. Killed 2 Germans.
What is it, do you suppose? Not an air raid?
Not just shooting at shadows, though, are they?
Surely to God.
What?
Our people wouldn't come raiding here, would they? They wouldn't be so mad as to do that.
Over.
Seems to be. I must go to the hospital.
Oh, Philip, must you?
Well, of course. They'll be wounded.
I'll come with you.
No, Claire, you won't. Not while the curfew's on.
Yeah, but if they're shooting...
Well, then I must just hope they don't shoot me.
Oh, Philip.
My dear child, there's no need to be afraid. Whatever it was out there, it's over now.
Is it?
Yes.
I'm just cold, that's all.
Well, then go back to bed. It'll be morning. Quite soon.
Claire? Tell me.
Tell you what?
What it is that's been so bad with you since the day you went to Corbière. Whatever it was bad happened to you that day at Corbière.
No.
Tell me, won't you? Clive, was it? Come back.
They were taking him off that night, the Navy.
Well, you should have told us, told me.
He said, tell no one, he said.
Well, not me even.
If the Germans had caught him, he was a spy, you see. They would have shot him and anyone who helped him.
One does hear such awful things the Germans have done.
Oh, the Germans have done.
Claire, what happened at Corbière?
There was a German there. He saw us. So I killed him.
Come on, get a move on!
You
Killed him, yes.
How?
He was standing by the sea. He saw Clive. So I picked up a stone and threw it at him. He fell into the sea. The sea washed over him and he was gone.
Dead. How do you know?
He must have been, or else they would have come for me.
Clive?
When he went then, there was a boat to take him off. But I think he will have come back.
Okay, the last.
No, sir. Major Kirk was at the church covering us back.
Where's he now?
Got hit. Done for. All of them.
I say, no.
Oh, if they should ever know what you did.
Will the Germans ever know? Or at the tennis club?
Oh, Claire!
Your friends would not be so jolly glad if ever they should know to have me in the mixed doubles with them. Is that what you mean? Something awful like that?
You little bitch, don't you talk to me! What am I to tell your father?
Well, tell him, Mummy, not a damn thing. I'm sorry I told you, but then I always have.
Yes, you have. Always.
Poor Mummy. I won't be the same anymore, will I?
Just off, if I can get the car started.
Balls up this show's been. Jesus, what a balls up.
Can't have clobbered them all, can they? Can't all be in the bag.
Be full light soon. Not gonna get off, are we? Unless we go now.
You then, Corporal.
Sir?
Tell them when you get back. There'll be some who've gone to ground. Wounded. So I've stayed here to do all I can. Here, take this. You tell them, Corporal, what a balls up it was.
Had it. You. No. Good nick. Morphine. Dressings. Anything.
Dressing.
I'll try and make a tourniquet. Give yourself up.
No.
You've got to. You'll bleed to death.
I'll lay up until it gets dark, then I'll get off.
How the hell will you do that?
First you get me to a boat.
No, I'll get you into the house. There's a doctor. He'll be able to come and look after you. His name's Martel. You may know his son, Clive Martel. Dorset Regiment. I was with him here in the militia.
So why aren't you with him now?
I would have been, but I got stopped.
What stopped you?
The Germans and others who say that those who get away have to be paid for by those who don't get away.
You're Porteous, is it?
Yes. Martel saw me here when he was on his recce.
He told me, yes.
Is he with you now?
Was when we landed, God knows now. They cut us to bloody bits.
Major, sir, I'll hide you. But if I do...
And they find me, you're for the chop.
If I do, and this butchery is not properly treated, then you're for the chop.
Damn your bloody eyes, then I'll go.
Where? It's a very small island, this. There's not a great deal of cover for running.
What they did, Reinecker, was to land here at Plenmore, where they'd blocked the road to hold you when they got off the beach.
No, not at Plenmore. Where we got hit was St. Saviour. They had a Bren gun in the churchyard firing down the road. They were falling back on La Corbière, across those fields, and in the dark. They knew the ground. They must have known the ground.
Reinecker, do you know who it is who lives at St. Saviour?
Porteous.
The one who tried to get away when the fishermen were shot.
Peter Porteous, yes.
Burn him out then, shall I?
Porteus's mother is kinswoman to the Veldendorfs, did you know, from Württemberg, also by marriage to the Comtesse de Thissier-Vasancourt.
Her son is a farmer, that is all.
So was Himmler?
A poultry farmer, Himmler, wasn't he? Kept chickens.
M.I.R.?
Oh, Reineke, don't be so bloody regimental. Go to St. Saviour, kick the doors down and drag out what Tommies you find, eh? Not that you will, because they got shot to bloody bits or drowned. And the poor sods not dead already will give themselves up in the end, because there's nowhere for them to go, is there? Only the sea.
The Porteous lady,
Well,
is she kinswoman to those Almanac Dakota folk you said she was?
of course not. But if thinking so prevents Reineke from putting the torch to her Aubusson carpets, I doubt she'll mind what I told him. Reineke is of the party.
And we know how very properly our Bohemian corporal regards the aristocracy.
So he does. Well then, Friedel, one must do what one can for one's own kind.
Which Reineke is not.
Reineke has this awful German thing, forgive me, Friedel, of going on, too loud and too long.
Like Wagner.
Quite so. Hitler too, all the same. Nevertheless, Reineke was right. Whether they landed at Plenmont or La Corbière, one thing is certain. The Tommies knew the ground. That if it was Porteus who brought them in from the sea...
We must shoot him, I suppose.
Pour encourager les autres. Which is why the English from time to time used to shoot their admirals. But I doubt they'll come raiding here again. The butcher's bill was too high.
And I was glad because I heard the cry of Hans. And that's the song. Harry? God rush you, Harry. Hack on, will you? And that's the song. Cock gun. Mag off. Mag on. Carry on firing. Damn your bloody eyes. Get the brain gun on. That's the song.
No more I can do, I'm afraid. Need a surgeon.
Glad. God,
Sorry.
not in your gladness.
You've got to get him to hospital?
Stop this bloody pain.
If we do, how long before the Germans know? They'll come here, of course. And there's the one out in the barn, dead.
Give him up.
Well, he'll die for certain if he stays here.
You say we should tell them, huh?
At the Commandant, yes. Better for him. Better for you, too.
Look, there may be others, sir, hiding out. Clive, maybe.
Did he say so?
He said that Clive was with them when they landed. He said it was Clive who brought them in from the sea.
Where?
Corbière, in Boatswain Destroyer.
Madness.
Well, to land at Corbière, the Germans would
No,
have thought so.
madness to have raided here. What was it that couldn't have been better done with a bomber?
Show them the bastards that the army's not done for. Hit them where we can, any damn where we can.
But the tides at La Corbière are bloody awful for small boats. And to get ashore and up that cliff at night, they had to be led by a man who knew the tides and the way up the cliff.
Oh, Clive, yes.
But the last we heard of him, he was with his battalion in Dorchester.
He was here just a few days ago.
The Commandant told me he had cause to think so, yes. So I gave the Commandant my word as the man who would surely know that my son was not on the island. I give him my word. Do you see?
It was reconnaissance.
For what they did last night?
Yes.
The raid?
Yes.
Did you know?
Yes, sir.
Who else knew? My wife.
No, sir.
Claire.
Look,
Clive asked that you shouldn't be told...
Not to be trusted.
But not to be at risk. I mean, if the Germans had caught him, he would have been shot.
According to the laws and usages of war, as they say.
According to the laws and usages of war, as they say, he was a spy.
Yes, so he was then. Not now, a soldier now. Suppose in the fight he didn't get off the island. Where would he go?
We talked about that.
Where?
Last night was black as a bear's arse. No, where we found them floating was there. The tide was setting westerly, so they had come off the beach about here.
What we thought, yes.
They set down on Les Amouins. The boat got hold, or they broached to and sank. Anyway, poor bastards drowned.
Sorry for them, I am.
Why not? Tonight could be me. By the way, Kluger, you noticed on deck, one of them we picked up was ours. He fetched up on Les Amouins where they did. And one of them was one of ours.
Such Teutonic symbolism is beyond me. I'm a simple man.
He was a pilot. It was odd, I thought.
Why? Surely to God we lost enough of them?
This one we didn't lose flying. He had no parachute, not even a life jacket.
Who was he?
Not that you'd know from what was left of his face.
Kessler, was it? Willie Kessler? He'd been in Poland. Had a good war, rather. But that was in Poland. So, he did go down to the sea at Corbière and never came back.
Had enough, had he?
Haven't you?
Kluger, whoever bought that raid in last night was a bloody good seaman.
Ah, good seaman, I suppose, in the Royal Navy?
No more than just that. Good seaman who could read charts. This is a god-awful coast with small boats, and who knew these waters.
The poor fellows who drowned on Les Amouins must have thought not, wouldn't you say?
It could be he got left on the beach and didn't take them off. If I were you, I'd look for a sailor. A fisherman, maybe.
And if you were me, where would you do that?
Well, there's a bar in the Rue de Clotilde.
I've heard so, yes.
A woman runs it.
Fat Molly.
No. You know her, do you?
Only by repute.
Well, if I want to know about seamen in such and St. Peter Port, I'd ask her. Not that she'd tell you.
Tell you, though, would she?
Hmm.
What would it cost?
A blind eye to what she gets from St. Malo.
Or to who brings what she gets from St. Malo? You, maybe?
She's a widow.
Sad.
Lost a man off Pointe-de-Raz before the war.
Ask her for me, will you? The one who brought the raid in. Who?
bloody quisling, you.
Mr. Porteous?
The bastard could close this place down, if he wanted to. Ship you off to France.
Why would he do that?
You're prejudicial to military discipline and good order. A temptation to the virginal honor of the soldier sons of our glorious German motherhood. Which is to say, you're a whore.
I'm a citizen of the Republic of Ireland.
So, you're a neutral whore.
So who's he, then?
Kluge? Oberleutnant Kluge.
SS, is he?
Feldpolizei.
Like the Tans.
What?
Fleck and Tans. They shot me dad.
Oh.
Devil the colour of coat they wear, soldiers all the same.
The Oberleutnant is no more a soldier than that scout mine's the Prince Eugen. No. Kluge just likes to hunt.
Hunt what?
Whatever's in season. You may be.
Why?
Kluge knows that our gallant lads don't go piss back to barracks every night and what they drink at the Soldatenheim. And Kluge knows there are Matelots on this island who slip across to the Rance whenever the weather's thick.
That's how I lost my Jack.
And Kluge knows that a man with a chance that for a barrel of Calvados is the man to bring in a raid. Like last night at Corbière.
Day after the day King Teddy married the Simpson woman.
What?
Jack got drowned.
Yeah.
Bad year, that. What you were asking? There's one I know who would and likely did. He was away in his boat last week.
By order of the Commandant, you may go.
Where?
Back to your garden, is it?
Farm.
Back to your dunghill, then.
Do you play tennis?
Excellently.
I could beat you in straight sets.
At tennis?
Or any damn thing.
At the Real Gymnasium at Halle, where I was a student, the saber was my sport.
Pistol, though, now, is it? At the back of the neck.
Go home. To the women.
Why not? I could beat you at that, too. I say, it's not that you don't like women, is it?
We're gonna hang out the washing on the...
Members of the British Armed Forces who are hiding in Guernsey and those who are in any way helping them must surrender at the island police station at St. Peter Port at 6 p.m. on Monday, the 12th of August, 1940. Members of the British Armed Forces who obey this order will be treated as prisoners of war, and no action will be taken against those who have helped them. Any members of the British Armed Forces who may be found after this time will be dealt with as an agent of an enemy power, and those who have helped in hiding such persons
will be shot.
Will suffer the consequences of what they have done.
Will be shot?
According to the laws and usages of war.
May I remind you, sir, that it was Porteous who reported to the Feldkommandanteur the presence at St. Saviour's of the wounded officer.
May I submit, sir, that he did so only because he was persuaded by you that life as a prisoner of war has less pain than death by gangrene. Porteous sails close to the wind. Too close, perhaps, in such dangerous waters.
Not last night.
I believe what you say.
Thank you.
And he's been let go. Even so, I know, and you know, that the raid last night was not landed without help from here, on the island.
The raid last night was a military nonsense. What in God's name was it for?
Some warlike fellow at the Ministry of Information to say, don't care about the bombs on Bethnal Green, we've hit the bloody Hun, that's what it was for.
That all though, was it?
When I was at Peterhouse, I used to hunt now and then with the Cotswold, you know, and always there was some hard-ass chap to say, what a jolly fine bump round. Must have been a cracking 5-mile point. Now shall we have some tea? That man is a general now. Do you sail, Doctor?
No.
Your son, surely?
Yes.
The Englishman's love of the sea and the Englishman's love of the chase. There was no military cause for raiding here. But your fellows had a jolly fine bump round. Pity was so few went home to tea. Come. My order is, Doctor, that any soldier found in hiding 3 days from now will be dealt with as an agent of an enemy power.
And suffer the consequences, yes.
I'm sure that you will do what should be done. Because we also have fellows who like to hunt.
Tally ho.
Now, Otto.
We have him.
Have you be damned?
Trouble is, he's mad.
Yes, quite mad.
Anyone here?
Hello, sir.
No, Clive. You all right?
Quite well, sir, thank you. How's Mother?
She's quite well under the circumstances.
Sorry.
No, not at all. No, I might have been one of them. Besides, old Pitt Cathley's place isn't quite the place for a last stand.
A bit beyond that now. Only thing now is to get away. I found water here.
Yeah?
Beaches, too. Can't do right, though.
Yeah. He was always rather proud of his peaches, old Pitt Cathley. I dare say he'd not begrudged them, though. Oh, the Pitt Cathleys got off, by the way, on the Sherrington last time she saw it. In rather a hurry.
I saw Diana in London before she...
Bread and cheese. Best I could do.
Thank you.
There's no pickled onions left, sorry.
How did you know I'd be here?
Well, it's terribly noisy out at St. Saviour's last night.
So Jerry biffed us rather, I'm afraid.
Peter found the Major wounded.
Kirk, was it Major Kirk?
Yes, he's in hospital. He told us when he landed you were with him, but after he got hit...
Yes, we were going down on the Corbière, then he was covering us.
Well, so he didn't know what happened after that. Well, I thought if you'd not got off in the boats, not...
Gone for a boat?
Yeah, you might come here. You used to come here quite often.
She's dead.
What?
Diana's dead. She was in the Wrens, you know.
Yeah.
I saw her when I was with my battalion in Dorchester. She was at Portland waiting to be drafted. We were to have had dinner in Weymouth just a few days ago. But she didn't come.
Air Raid, was it?
Bombers on a convoy off Portland. These Stukas are just carrion for our fighter chaps. This one got caught by a hurricane before he could roll into his dive and bomb. So he came weaving in off the sea with this hurricane shooting bits off him. Dropped his bomb and killed 18 of them. Girls in the Wren barracks. This lieutenant commander who saw it told me. Bloody thing was the Stuka got away, he said. Streaming glycol, it must have been hit. Maybe went down in the sea.
Bastard trap. Perhaps he did. Fond of Diana, weren't you?
Yes, I was, rather.
There you go. The Germans are searching all over the island.
Bit of a shaky do, sir.
What the hell was it for?
We have to come back.
What
We have to come
was
back.
it for? So what are you going to do now?
Lie up.
Here?
You tell people. Any troops left here on the island, bring them here. I'll get them away.
How?
By boat.
What, Navy? Clive. This morning I was sent for by the Commandant.
Sent for?
The Commandant has issued an order. Any of you who surrender by Monday, any of you who surrender by then, will be dealt with as prisoners of war.
Jolly sporting of the Commandant.
After that, though, any of you found hiding and any of us who've helped you hide will be dealt with as agents of an enemy power and will suffer the consequences, as the Commandant says, according to the laws and usages of war.
Shoot us, will you?
Oh, he's a soldier, Clive. He'll be very correct in what he does.
Before Dunkirk, at a place called Wehrmacht, on the road to Dunkirk, the Liebstandard regiment of the Waffen-SS took prisoner 100 or so, gunners and infantry, Warwicks, Cheshires, and Royal Artillery. They locked them in a barn and lobbed grenades at them. Those they didn't kill with the grenades, they forced out into the open and shot. 5 at a time, they shot them. Laws and usages of war, did you say?
What do you want me to do?
Go to Grand Havre, find Joe Lebec and ask him if he wants to run ashore. In Weymouth.
Yes, here. What is it?
Clive's here.
Here?
Old Pip Catley's place. Hiding.
Is he all right?
Only he's not hurt at all.
Oh. What will he do?
Get away, he says. Wants me to go to Grand Havre. Clive's here.
Yes, at Diana's house, where he always was summers when she was home.
Diana's dead. Killed in an air raid. Clive tell me?
How is he, Clive?
Harder than he was. All are they, weren't we?
Claire.
Knew he was here, yes. When he was landed from the fishing boat.
Claire, tell him.
Oh, now, what more has she got to tell me? She's going to start telling me I'm a quisling again, is she?
no.
She's going to tell me she didn't trust me to know that Clive had been put ashore by the Royal Navy to reconnoitre for the raid, is that it? Well, what more has Claire got to tell me?
I killed a German. On the beach at La Corbière. I hit him with a stone. He fell into the sea and was drowned. Oh.
Come at a bad time, have I? Sorry.
Oh, Peter. You scared us. We thought you were
someone else.
Clive? Well, surely not. Was he there? Good. Well, let's hope there's some others lying up.
Yes.
Well, I thought to myself, Clive will be needing a boat if he's not got the chop, so I went down to Grand Havre to see if I can find Joe Lebec.
But that's what he asked me to do.
Yes, well, I thought he might. Well, nip over to the mainland one filthy night when the E-boats aren't out. Who better than Joe? So... Anyway, I went down to find him, but the trouble is he's in the bag.
What?
The Germans have got him.
Why?
Well, the word is that it was Joe who brought in the raid.
No.
Yes, he took his boat to sea, they say. Met the Navy off Les Anois and took on troops and landed them at the Corbière.
Lebec did this?
So they say, yes. Took on the troops, put the Navy's whalers in tow and put them on the beach at Corbière. But we know, don't we, that that's not true.
Where did you hear this about Lebec?
Down in some dive bar, Fat Molly's. In Grand Havre, they're drinking his health. Our gallant matelot gave Hitler a bloody nose. All that.
That's sad.
Why?
Well, I never heard a good word for him at Grand Havre or anywhere until now.
But the man's no good. He's a damn scoundrel.
So they all say, but I'd not have thought you too.
But you know what he did.
It doesn't matter what he did. I mean, all that's forgotten. The man's a hero.
What will they do, the Germans?
Try him as an agent of an enemy power before a military tribunal. Take him to Cherche Midi.
And shoot him.
Well...
Oh, shoot him, won't they?
My dear, do you suppose we might have some tea?
Tea?
Claire. Oh.
Look, I mean, if Clive gave himself up, as a soldier, he'd be treated as a prisoner of war.
Have Major Richter's word, so yes, but then Major Richter had my word that Clive wasn't here on the island when indeed he was, as a spy.
But you weren't to know that?
My dear Peter, do you think a military tribunal is going to believe that?
Well, it is true, and the Germans have got Lebec.
For an act of war done by Lieutenant Martel, am I to tell Clive?
Well, will you?
Well, if I do, he'll surrender, of course. Caged in. Barbed wire.
And if you don't, Lebec goes to Cherche Midi in the firing squad.
Try him here, shoot him at Castle Cornet.
Oh, what then? Put his head on a pole, would you, on the ramparts?
We must give these people a warning.
These people won't come down from their mountains and murder us. They have no mountains. They won't come out of their forests at night and garrote our sentries and cut our throats and burn us alive. There are no forests. There will be no guerrillas here.
But there is the sea.
Yes, there is the sea. Out there, between us and them, there is the sea.
In Poland, what we did in order
I
to
know
subdue...
in Poland what your fellows did.
My fellows have found 3 more Tommies in a barn at Totteval. A corporal and 2 privates. That makes 9.
What do they say?
What would they say? Name, rank, and number.
Take them to Saint-Malo.
Yes, sir.
And Lebec?
Tell me, again, why we should have him shot.
The fellow has confessed.
So did the half-wit Dutchman who said he'd burned down the Reichstag. But had he?
Lebec has confessed that as an agent of the enemy he engaged against us in an act of war. What else should we do but shoot him?
That was not your attitude in connection with the Porteous escape, I recall. You spoke then of local resentment and, what was it, Berlin's view.
You are correct, Herr Commandant. But with respect, that was a civilian escapade on the eve of occupation. We are concerned here with enemy action. No, the man must be dealt with.
String him up, maybe? With piano wire?
What do you think, Kluge?
I think Reinecke is a pain in the arse.
About Lebeck.
Lebeck is queer in the head. Smells like a sick fox. Lives alone. No one to give a damn for him. That boat of his, I wouldn't sail it across the Ulster, let alone out to Les Anois to rendezvous with the HMS Bloody Hood or whatever she was.
What is it what he did?
Says he did.
Confessed he did.
My trade was living off informers, Reinecke. Up and down the Ripperbahn, when all you were doing was banging your big bass drum in the Hitler Youth. A confession, Reinecke, as one moves in for the kill, should be a cry of surrender, yes? This was the squeal of a pig in a knacker's yard. I am not a butcher. If all he wants is a head on a pole to frighten the citizens, then one carcass will do as well as another, yes?
No. No, Reinecke, it will not.
Did you find him? Wasn't he there at Grondhav?
Clive must give himself up, of course.
You want him not to escape?
Over the body of that man, no.
Not just that, though, is it? You want Clive safe.
Oh, yes.
Out of the war.
Hardly safe, would it be? Starving behind barbed wire in Silesia or somewhere.
But out of the war? The way we're out of the war?
We must save what we can.
Like that packet of tea you hid under the kitchen floor.
Save what we can of how we were.
Well, what do you suppose would be saved of how Clive was after years, God knows years, in a prison camp?
You say Clive should go.
Such a waste of him, I say, not to go.
And if he does, and because he does, that poor wretch should lose his life, what do you suppose could be saved of him then?
Tell me, what did Jollebeck ever do to you?
You wanted a name. I gave you a name.
That one's name, though. Why?
What's it matter to you?
I will not be used, you know? To pay off old scores.
Who said that? Said it was for that.
It wasn't for money, was it? Ah, of course. He's the one who took away your honor. Did he?
Not him. Years ago, that was. Behind some old bandstand on the dusty grass. Listen. He'd drawn my Jack was all.
Your husband?
Off Point the Rats. And I tell you, he was a decent fella.
Jack?
Joe Lebeck drowned off Point the Rats. Day after the day King Teddy married the Simpson woman. Bad year that was, what with one thing and another.
Off Point the Rats, then?
They were running up from Saint Nazaire, just the two boats. Joe Lebeck was drunk. Just like he was always drunk. Got drove ashore in a gale of wind. So Jack stood his boat alongside to take Joy off. And he got smashed by the sea, and Jack was drowned, and 4 fellas along with him. Joe Lebecto got picked up by a Portuguese, and he was the only one. There are kids in this town are orphans because of him. You see what become of me. Does Joe say it was him brought the soldiers? So he would the lying bastard, he'll be wanting a bloody medal.
What? After we've shot him? Surely not.
Better that may be than living the life he does.
But it's not true, is it? That he brought the soldiers in.
Could have been. And what does it matter? Listen! For the first time since that bad day he drowned my Jack, there's folks who don't spit when they speak of Joy Lebec. And don't forget who it was gave you the name!
379512, Lieutenant Clive Martell.
Thank you, Herr Lieutenant.
I wish you to know that as a serving officer of my regiment, it was I who led the raid in last night from the sea. No one who lives here on the island was in any way concerned.
Indeed.
You have my word, sir.
Have I? Then I accept your word, sir.
You will understand, Major, that other than this I have nothing to say.
But I have. You were wasted, Herr Lieutenant, and I'm sorry for you. Send in Lieutenant Kutner. Good morning, Hans. Sit down. An English grammar.
Yes, sir, Commandant.
Your father will be pleased to find it useful.
If the Commandant will open it at the marker. There were others on the floor of the library, Herr Commandant, lying there for all to see. The librarian must be spoken to.
I take it you spoke to him?
Herr Commandant, the librarian is a woman. She denies that she knew about these things, but I say that if the
The
librarian...
librarian should be made responsible for the proper running of the library.
German officers should not be insulted.
No, of course not. Sit down, Hans. I have some letters to do. I'll speak to Oberleutnant Kluger about that.
Well, what do you think of it?
Wonderful.
Yes, I'm going there on leave as soon as my papers are signed. Hauptmann Reinecke? At once, Herr Major. The Commandant wants to see you.
What's that about?
Young Hans has been finding provocations. It'll be about that. Little V's.
So?
It's a civil disobedience, Kluger. Your department.
So that we may bring good order and just administration to the island and its people. I'm sure you will find, when our new system is working, that your present fears are unfounded. Paragraph, please do not hesitate to write to me at any time. Yours faithfully. Oh, that will do for now, Hans. We can finish them off this afternoon.
These people make too many complaints, Sir Commandant. You are too kind to them.
Well, the policy is one of good order and just administration.
But there are times, Sir
That will
Commandant...
be all, Hans. Thank you. Come in. Good morning, Otto.
Good morning, Herr Major. Those again?
Yes.
Where was this one found?
In a library book borrowed by one of my staff. Lieutenant Kutmer found it.
Just as well it was not Hauptmann Reinecke.
The lieutenant is new to the situation, Otto. He is not yet aware of the special circumstances on the island. His experience has been solely in Paris, where these things are taken more seriously. But I do not want to have stories sent over to Paris.
What action do you wish, Herr Major?
I'm still inclined to your way of thinking. A few questions asked and a warning given, but this time a very stern warning.
If it appears that we are worried by such matters, it makes them bolder. And boldness breeds trouble.
Indeed. I have asked the secretary of the controlling committee to call upon me.
Then why not insist that he issues the warning, Herr Major? Make it come from him.
Well?
You are right. Little V's. Now in the library.
And party member Kurtmar complains to the Commandant, and the Commandant has to take notice because young Hans comes to him from Paris, where they do things differently. Where they believe that if today one person is doing this, tomorrow there will be 10, and the next day 100.
So do you.
Yes.
What would you do?
Me? I'm going on leave.
Dr. Martel, Herr Commandant.
I thought I asked the secretary to call upon me.
Mr. Ambrose isn't available. He's in Granville. Sent there on your instructions.
And the president?
Well, you asked to see the secretary, and while he's not here, I'm carrying out his duties for him.
Very well. This morning, that was brought to my attention.
A paper V.
We both know what it is, Dr. Martell, and we both know what it means. I expected at least that you might say, oh, no, not again.
I'm afraid there are still some of our people who haven't yet accepted the occupation.
And I have some young officers who are growing impatient.
Yes, I noticed you have a new...
You are not here for a discussion, Doctor. You are here to learn my wishes and to convey them to your committee. Until now, I have been lenient about such things. I have even been lenient over matters of sabotage.
Yes, your lenience is appreciated, I assure you. The sabotage has stopped. The majority of the people have no wish to defy you.
Then you will convey the wishes of the majority to the troublemakers. You'll explain to your president that unless he can show that the committee is in control, he may bring upon his people some very unwelcome restrictions.
I will explain this to him.
Without delay, if you please. The thing was found in this book. You will return the book to the library and make sure this foolishness goes no further. We do not wish to lose another librarian to a prison in France, do we?
And it has to stop without delay.
Says who?
Major Richter. It was a serious warning.
We are warned. English grammar. First they take over our island, next they take our language.
Oh, this is serious, Peter.
Hmm?
Well, Father said he'd never seen Major Richter quite so unfriendly. He was threatening even more restrictions.
What, just for a few paper cutouts?
Do you know who's doing it?
No. Do you?
No.
Well, anything that annoys the Krauts has my full support.
Well, Father says they're really on the warpath.
Better keep our heads down then, hadn't we?
How many did you find?
After the officer complained?
Yes.
7.
What did you do with them?
I burned them.
Very wise of you.
Thank you.
Did you search all of the books?
Not all of them.
Just the ones the man had been looking at?
Which man?
The man who put them there?
I didn't see any man.
Of course not. This colour, you call it royal blue, yes?
Yes.
Like the royal family. Royal. Like the King of England.
I suppose so, yes.
Where might I obtain a supply of such paper?
Anyone could have it. It was common on the island before you came for wrapping gifts.
Did you wrap gifts in it?
No.
You're Miss Elizabeth Laney. You live at 24 Dupont Street.
Yes.
You live with your mother, your father, and your brother.
Why do you ask this?
It's my job to ask questions, Fräulein. If you knew who put these in the books, would you tell me?
If I knew.
May I take these?
Yes.
Thank you.
This is the book the officer took out.
Where did you get it?
Well, the Commandant gave it to my father to return to you with a warning.
I've already had a warning.
Yes, I saw him. What did he want?
He checked on who'd been borrowing books. Took 2 of the tickets, Mr. Walsh and Mr. Porteous.
Peters? What else?
He wanted to know how many V-signs I'd found.
How many?
20. Do you want them?
Oh, no. No, destroy them. Did you see who...
Thank you.
Did you see who put them there?
It was the morning Mr. Porteous was here. He went to several shows.
Well, I can assure you it wasn't Peter.
Then I didn't see who did it.
Sit down, Mr. Porteous. You used the local library.
Yes?
When were you last there?
Yesterday.
May I ask why?
Yes, I wanted to borrow a book on estate management. We no longer get our magazines and periodicals from England.
Did you find such a book?
No, but I made do with one on animal husbandry.
And how is the estate?
Oh, allowing for shortages, I manage as well as can be expected. Now, why did you want to see me?
I asked you to come to see me, Mr. Porteous, because you are a man who hears things, and I'm a man who likes to be told things. You understand what I'm saying?
No.
Let me put it another way. A stranger on these islands, like me, a German, does not hear all the local gossip, the private gossip. Not as much as we need. We do hear some, of course. At what time were you in the library yesterday?
It was in the morning, about 10 o'clock.
And when you were there, did you see any of these?
No.
So you were gone before they were discovered?
Yes. That must be so.
What do you think of this game?
How do you mean?
Well, do you think it's clever, worth the penalty it might incur? Or do you think it's useless, foolish, rather childish?
Foolish and rather useless.
I'm glad that we agree. Now, when you were in the library, did you see Mr. Corbin there?
No, I didn't see him.
But you did know that those were discovered in the library?
Your commandant informed the committee that they'd been discovered, and the committee has been busily telling the people. To that extent, I am, as you say, a man who hears things.
And did you also hear who put them there?
No.
And if you had heard
Excuse me. Sorry. I didn't realize that you were with a friend.
You were asking me whether I had heard anything.
I was about to explain to you that on these islands I am responsible for maintaining law and good order. But without the goodwill of all the people, it is not so easy.
You will not find much goodwill for the Feldpolizei, Oberleutnant.
Then I'll make it a warning.
If you have any reason to believe that I am involved...
Not yet, Mr. Porteous. A warning to whom it may concern. See that it is heeded.
Is that all?
Thank you.
Why don't you join me?
Thank you, Hauptsturmführer.
Working late?
Yes, Hauptsturmführer.
Relax, Hans. What I need tonight is happy company.
Happy company?
I'm still waiting for my leave papers to be signed.
They are here. They have come through for signature.
Ah, and when will they be signed? Tomorrow?
As yet, I am only the office boy.
From what I hear, you are already the Commandant's aide. You were, appointed from Paris, weren't you?
Yes.
Not like Paris?
No.
In Paris, they have the best of food, best of wine, best of everything. So, how do you like it here?
It will be better when there is a firmer hand. When there is more respect for German officers.
This is part of Britain, Hans. The only part we have, so far. The Führer says we must win their confidence.
The Führer does not permit insults, and he is never soft with our enemies. Soon we will be in England, and there must be respect.
You brought these instructions from Paris?
No, I have no orders.
But you're here to observe, to report.
I am a junior officer, Hauptsturmführer. It is not my place to report.
But you are reporting. We are both SS, Hans. We are brothers. We must trust each other.
Then you must not say such things, Hauptsturmführer.
No, I agree. And I agree with what you've been sent to do. My lips are sealed. Now, relax. We are friends.
Let this be my treat, Hauptsturmführer. I'd be honored.
Thank you, Hans. Why don't you join us, Kluge? Lieutenant Kurtmar from SS Headquarters, Paris. But of course you've met. And you spoke together about the little V's.
We had a talk this morning.
We've been discussing... We've been discussing a firmer line with the populace.
It will be a better place when there is more respect for the German uniform. Who could disagree?
No one?
Yes, we all need a little more respect. Hans's father is General Stupnagel's closest friend. Did you know?
Please, you must not say such things.
No. And you must not be so quick to take offense, Hans. Is it because you are a Berliner?
I'm sorry.
You are amongst friends. And now, if Hans will see to please, if my leave pass is signed in the morning, I have packing to do, letters to write. Good night, Hans.
You should not have said that about my father.
Does it embarrass you?
Yes.
May I ask what started it?
I happen to say that I would like this posting better when there is a firmer control of the people.
You surprise me.
You do not agree?
You surprise me that you thought Reinecke would disagree.
Three incidents have now been reported, Oberleutnant. Here, a dockyard sign has been defaced. Here it is on a wall. And now we have this.
When did this happen?
20 minutes ago. Yes? Where? Right. We have two more.
He has been busy tonight?
You will wish to see them?
No. We'll go straight to this area here.
Head him off. Put him in the car. Sit down. What is your name? All right. Stand up. Empty out your pockets. Le Prévost, William. Ferme Duval St. Martin's. What were you doing in town after curfew? Did someone tell you not to answer questions? It won't help you. La. L. Le Prévost. Le Prévost, Marguerite, William. You're an only child aged 16 years. You live with your mother. Your father is also William. He's in the British Merchant Navy. So? Oh, come on, lad. It's no secret. Your father is in the British Merchant Navy. Are you ashamed of him?
No!
What does that mean, no?
I'm not ashamed of him.
Are you proud of him?
Yes.
Good. So, we've made a start. At least you've found your tongue. Now, what were you doing in St. Peter Port after curfew?
I was going home.
And on your way you were defacing German property, writing insults to the occupying power, and starting fires. What's that on your coat? Paint. You're 16, huh? I would have said you looked older. This address, I think I know it. It's a small holding, isn't it? Could your mother run it by herself? Does she know what will happen to you at best? For what you've done tonight, and especially for starting the fires, they will send you away to Germany, to a labor camp. And at worst, do you want to know what it is at worst? If you're still as stubborn and silent and unhelpful when you reach Germany, they will shoot you. Why don't you talk to me? Are you afraid? Mrs. Le Prévost?
Yes.
Feldpolizei. I'm Oberleutnant Kluger. I wish to speak with you. You have a son, William?
What's happened to him?
Answer my question, please.
I have a son. Is he hurt?
He is under arrest.
Why are they going up there?
They're making a search.
That's not his room.
We're searching all of the house.
What are you looking for? What are you looking for?
Does your son have many friends?
No.
Some friends?
He stays home at nights.
Last night?
No.
He didn't come home last night?
No.
When did you last see him?
Where is he?
At this moment, he is in a cell at the Kommandantur, under guard, and being very stubborn. Is he always so stubborn?
He's not stubborn. He's just a quiet boy. He works hard and helps me here. That's all he does.
No, Mrs. Le Prévost, that is not all he does.
They did not obey you, did they?
An official warning was being prepared, Major. I have a copy of it here. And yesterday, a verbal warning was circulated and ordered.
And with what result? A fire in the middle of the night. Blazing to the skies, a signal for all to see, the English ships and English aircraft to see, a beacon.
Yes, I do agree. Such a fire was serious, but on the other hand...
Did you see it?
Well, of course. It was seen all over town.
So it is no longer little pieces of paper. It is rebellion, is it?
No.
Always in the past I have tried to find some reason, some excuse. In how many places were these acts perpetrated?
In 6 places, Herr Commandant.
Have a civilian guard mounted in every one of them. On each site, 2 well-known citizens will stand guard in a disciplined manner, in full view of the townspeople. An 8-hour rota, day and night. Dr. Martell will supply the names.
Yes, Herr Commandant.
Stand attention for 8 hours?
I could make it 24.
Oh, please, I was just thinking they'll have to be young and fit.
That is for you to decide. You will supply 30 names today. And if there is no satisfactory outcome to this matter, curfew will be extended by 2 hours and all radios will be confiscated.
Oh, no, Major, but this
I will not tolerate subversion.
I gather there's been an arrest.
Yes.
Might I know who it is?
His name is William Le Prevost. Do you know him?
Yes, I do. I know the family.
God, why did it have to be him?
You didn't know?
No, I promise. I saw someone crossing the road. I thought it was a German.
Did Billy recognize you?
I don't see how he could have done. I didn't recognize him. I was off like a shot. I saw the lights, heard the sound of the motorcycles, realized it must be a trap. Claire, I managed to get away with no trouble. Why on earth did he have to get mixed up in it?
Well, what are you going to do?
Well, what do you suggest? That I give myself up? I mean, that's not going to help anybody, is it? If the Germans found him there, they're not going to let him go. That means they just have 2 of us.
Well, Peter, why did you do it? I thought we agreed to keep our heads down.
Kluger. Oh, he was so damn smug. I just wanted to give him something to worry about.
You say he has no friends?
None that he brings to the house.
And he gets no letters. What do you call him?
Billy.
He gets no letters from his father?
No. What are you looking for?
A reason why a boy like him should risk his life. He knows you need him.
Yes. What will happen to him?
Anything? Wait in the car. Anything in the outbuildings? Wait with the others.
What are you looking for in the outbuildings?
Pots of blue paint, paint brushes, and rolls of royal blue gift paper.
There's no such things in this house.
No, there isn't. Sit down. Is he always such a stubborn boy?
No. But he's a quiet boy, a lonely boy.
Sometimes stubborn?
Hasn't been easy to bring him up.
With his father at sea.
He's a good boy, he obeys me.
And he's proud of his father.
Did he say that he's proud of his father?
And a boy of his age has a right to be proud. Is his father still at sea?
Do you mean is he still alive?
Yes.
I don't know. We haven't had any news since the occupation, since you came here.
He's bound to miss his father.
We made him a model of his ship. Billy carries it with him everywhere.
He hasn't got it with him now. Do you want me to take it to him?
What will you do to him?
It's not what I will do to him, Mrs. Le Prevost. It's what the courts will do. For what he has done, he must be sent away.
Where?
To a labor camp in Germany.
No.
An older man would be shot.
He didn't do these things. I know he didn't. Why would he do them?
Because there's a war. Because he's growing up. Because we are fighting his father. We may even have killed his father. It's understandable.
No, he loves his father, but he wouldn't hurt me.
Then why is he being so stubborn? Has he never mentioned a friend? Never brought anyone to this house?
No.
Then that is that.
I have tried to help you, please. Can I see him?
Hungry? Help yourself. It's Billy, isn't it? Your name?
Yes.
Well, if you're hungry, get started. Try a sandwich, they're good. I went to your house this morning, had a long talk with your mother. Then I went to see your friends. I know where you were last night. The cinema. It was a film about the sea. Then you stayed behind to help the projectionists cleaning the machines. Is that all? Well, that's what Mr. Corbin says. When you left the cinema, did Mr. Corbin go with you?
No.
You were seen at the harbour. A film about the sea, then you went to the harbour. And it was there, after curfew, that you started it. Why don't you make a statement, Billy? Make it easier for you, easier for your friends, your mother. You can write it yourself if you want, or tell me and I'll write it for you. I think you're protecting someone, Billy. Are you?
No.
Do you miss your father? Want him to come back to you?
Yes.
But he's at sea. It's a dangerous job, and he can't come back.
No.
So you don't like Germans. You hate us. But you know you can't say it, not in a place like this. There's a lot you won't say. When I spoke to your mother, Billy, she was crying. Do you know why she was crying? She says you have no friends.
Please, can I see my mother?
No.
How long did the police stay?
About 2 hours. They left everything in a mess.
What were they looking for?
He said they were looking for paint and for papers and for addresses and for letters. He kept asking me about Billy's friends.
What did you say?
I said I didn't know any. He seemed to mean someone older. Does he?
No, not that I know of. He usually goes about by himself.
Yes.
What did you think of him?
The policeman. I didn't trust him. He told me about Billy and what he'd done, but he didn't seem to care about that. He kept asking me questions about Billy and about his father and about this house. Why?
What didn't he say why?
He said that if Billy was older, he would have been shot. He said they could send him to Germany. Can they do that?
Look, well, we're trying to get him free. There must be some mistake.
And you call this a statement? The story of what happened?
Yes.
You expect me to believe it? In the evening, you went to the cinema. You stayed behind to help Mr. Corbin, the projectionist. You said good night to Mr. Corbin, went down to the harbour. It was a nice evening. You stayed too long. When it was almost curfew, you started to hurry home. But you ran into an early curfew patrol and had to take to the side streets. Then you ran into another patrol and had to turn back.
Well, it is true.
No. That is how you try to account for the time that you spend in the town. Now, let's skip the rubbish and get down to the bit where you say you started to go home again. It was then you saw a man on the other side of the road. You went to see what he was doing. Why?
He was painting something.
Painting a V?
Yes.
And you thought you'd offer to help him?
Yes.
And then a light came on and the motorcycles came, the man disappeared, and you picked up the paint pot. And they caught you instead.
Yes.
I was there, Billy. You were standing by the wall. You were painting the V's. Show me your hands. Go on. That is when you picked up the paint pot? No, Billy. You were the only one there. You started at the harbour, and I know you were there, and you worked your way right across the town until I caught up with you. But I think someone put you up to it, told you how to dodge the patrols.
No.
So you did it all by yourself?
Yes.
And this is all lies?
Yes.
And I've been talking to a liar?
Yes.
You lit the fire, put the V on the dock gate?
Yes.
And on the wall in the high street?
Oh, yes.
And where's the red paint? You got blue paint on your hands, on your jacket. Where's the red paint? You don't even know about the red paint, do you? Where did you start the fire, Billy? Which gate did you paint on? Where in the high street? You don't even know, do you? It was then I saw this man on the other side of the road. You were on your way home. It was after dark, after curfew. You saw a man and crossed the road to see what he was doing. Did you know him?
I didn't know him.
He was a stranger to you.
Well, yes.
But you crossed the road to speak to him. Is that because you thought you knew him?
Yes.
Did you think it was Mr. Corbin?
No.
Mr. Porteous?
Yes. But then it wasn't.
So you saw his face? Oh, come on, Billy. If you knew it was a stranger, you must have seen his face.
Yes.
But you didn't know him.
No.
Go home. Go on, go home. Your mother is waiting for you. She needs your help.
Thank you, sir. Sir, it wasn't Mr. Porteous, sir.
I trust you, Billy. You trust me?
Well, yes, sir.
Go on. Go home. Off with you.
You let him go?
For the moment, Herr Hauptmann. I told you, I need a friend. Someone who was born here, can move around unnoticed, hear the talk. Someone who has reason to confide in me.
Him? Isn't he a bit young?
Catch them young, they learn fast and last longer. Give him a couple of days to see how kind I've been to him.
Then?
Well, then, perhaps you would arrest him. Question him again. Threaten to send him away.
And then you will come to his rescue and be kind to him again.
The boy didn't do it, but he does know who did. And that man has let him down. He will need a friend, someone he can trust. It'll only take a couple of days.
Certainly, Oberleutnant. And in case I've gone, I will brief Hans to help you. He will have the boy weeping, calling for you by name.
Did they hurt you?
No. Just ask questions, that's all. Just questions.
What's this?
That? It's paint.
I told him you didn't do these things, did you?
No.
You must tell me the truth, Billy. Did you do it?
No, I didn't.
Then why are you in trouble?
I'm not in trouble.
Yeah, what else did you learn from the boy?
So far, he will only say that the man he saw looked like Porteous.
What exactly do you want?
Photographs. I want some photographs that could be mistaken for Porteous. Todt workers will do.
Haven't you enough evidence to arrest Porteous?
No. And by now there will certainly be an alibi. I must take him in the act.
Well, then keep him under surveillance.
What sort of questions did he ask you?
Did I see anyone on my way home?
Did you?
Yes.
Was it somebody you knew?
Yes.
Did you tell him that?
Oh, no.
Who was it?
Look, I didn't tell him, and I won't tell him.
What did he say why he sent you home?
Because he believed me. Look, don't worry. I won't tell on him.
That is not the reason they let him go. I spoke to him and I spoke to his mother and he didn't tell them anything.
But did he recognize me?
Yes, but he didn't tell them, and that's certain.
And they let him go? Well, then it's got to be a trick. I mean, Kluger doesn't give out that easily. I don't trust him.
Well, neither does Billy's mother. She thinks it's just a game and that they'll come back for him.
We can't let that happen. That boy's got to be kept out of trouble. We mustn't let them have any reason to pick him up
Oh,
again.
Peter, they don't need a reason.
Look, if it happened again, a really spectacular...
Well, how would that help?
If it happened again, when everyone could see that Billy was at home...
Would you be mad to risk it?
I have no choice.
Now look at these photos, Billy. Don't take any notice of the writing. Just look at the pictures. Now, the man you saw that night, you saw his face. Was it one of these men?
What are you trying to make him do?
You mustn't worry, Mrs. Le Provost. None of these men is a friend of his, nor a friend of yours. They're not even islanders. You can look if you wish. They're all workers of the Tot. 2 Dutchmen, a French, and 2 Poles. All known troublemakers, discontents.
That's because they don't want to be here.
They all fit the description of the man your son saw that night. The man who got him into this trouble.
That's him.
Now, Billy, as it was dark, and we want to be sure...
That's him.
Thank you, Billy.
It's only the word of a boy.
If I am to prove that Billy didn't do it, then I must catch the man who did. Billy should help me. Don't you agree?
It's not for me to agree or disagree. He should do what's right.
Thank you, Billy. Good day to you.
Why did you do it?
Do what?
Tell him a lie.
Because he's a German.
Yes, you're on surveillance. What? You've lost Porteous? Where? Les Moupiers. Where's that? Near the airfield. No. Stay there, do nothing. I'll come myself.
Soldier going home? All our men are in their quarters, sir. What's over there?
The vehicle park. Behind it are the hangars, and over there the runways. Do I challenge?
Wait.
Now, we are going to talk to you. This time, we're going to tell the truth. It's all yours, Hans.
You have alerted the guard?
Yes, sir.
When you hear me call, I want the lights.
Lights! Come! What have you done to the boy?
Where have you been, Oberleutnant? We've been looking for you.
I asked you, what have you done to the boy?
He is stubborn.
Please, will you leave us?
Of course, Oberleutnant. Didn't we do well?
Billy, I'm sorry. Really, I'm sorry. This wouldn't have happened if I had been here. I was out looking for the man you saw. The man who got you into this trouble. They always get innocent people into trouble, Billy. But then you know that, don't you? Look what's happened to you. What did they say to you?
They're sending me away to Germany.
No, no. No one's sending you away, Billy. Not whilst I'm here to help you. That's my job, Billy. Helping innocent people. But I can only help those who help me, Billy. The way you helped me today, when you looked at those pictures. Huh? But you told me a lie, didn't you, Billy? That wasn't the man you saw. If you lie to me, Billy, then I won't be able to save you from those men. They will come for you again. I won't ask you to tell me his name. Not tonight. Not until you want to, Billy. Because we're going to be friends, aren't we? I'm going to protect you, and you are going to help me. It's up to you to choose, Billy. The SS officers or me. Yes?
Yes.
Then we'll leave it like that. I'll get you a cup of tea.
Well?
It was cruel.
But effective.
We'll see. faster! Move! Come on, move! Move along! Move now!
Smoky toast, I'm afraid. The last of the anthracite. Down to the dust now.
Diana, what is this?
Oh, parfait.
Parfait?
Coffee substitute made from parsnips.
Well, I must say, it does add a new dimension to the concept of total war.
You can still get coffee beans if you're prepared to pay.
How much?
About 15 guineas a half pound.
You know, suddenly I quite like the taste of this.
Toast?
Really good.
I'll use it this evening. Cut into strips with slices of egg on top. Austerity canapé.
Oh, my God, I'd quite forgotten.
If you say anything...
No, I won't.
Though it is very odd, I'll admit.
What is?
The tea, darling.
By Jove, it is.
We haven't had it before.
I'm not surprised.
Daddy. 5 and 4pence a pound, made by the Special Aid Society.
Did you say tea?
Finest hetero blend.
Not the dreaded rubus fracticosus.
Blackberry leaf tea is supposed to be good for you.
I'm well aware that my medieval colleagues esteemed it highly for piles, dysentery and diarrhoea, which is not to say I like it for breakfast.
Think of all those awful things you're not going to get.
Dr. Martel's house. It's the Germans.
Thanks. Dr. Martel. What about? What? But, no, they can wait, can't they? Surely I've got surgery. All right. 10:30. Bicycles.
What are they wasting your time for?
Darling, I really don't know. I'll find out when I get there.
So inconsiderate.
Well, they're inconsiderate people, aren't they? Thanks. Hey, do you want a lift to the hospital? Shall I go that way?
Are you driving?
Well, it's official business, isn't it? They want to see me, they can jolly well supply the petrol.
Do you know I haven't been in a car for over a year?
Well, don't let it go to your head.
I suppose we can't use it tonight, can we?
All right.
The Pridos.
Damn it, do we have to go?
But don't you want to go? Surely you wouldn't want to disappoint Diana.
Well, I never know how to deal with that woman.
Really? We would never have known.
You can always hide behind James if the place gets too hot.
Oh, thanks very much. What are we going for anyway?
Well, Diana's got this idea about setting up a theatre company to do plays and things.
But why us?
Oh, I should think she's got you marked down for leading man.
Really?
More like the aged retainer, I should think.
You can jolly well walk to work.
Largely chicory, I should guess, but then I dare say caffeine is overly stimulating for sedentary figures such as we are.
Touching the matter of exercise, I have Dr. Martel coming in.
Well, have you no confidence in our own medical opinion?
The exercise I speak of is for the troops, not me. It's bicycles I'm after. I've a mind to increase mobility and save on motor spirit by instituting bicycle patrols.
Well, that should certainly provide opportunity for exercise, but why Dr. Martel?
I need 150 machines.
Do you indeed, that many?
Now, their controlling committee will undoubtedly demur and object that they can't possibly select.
Undoubtedly.
But I shall forestall such an excuse by suggesting the selection be made on medical grounds. Those who are hale and hearty can give up their bicycles and walk.
Ernst, you are a chess player.
What's happening? Come on, move! Get back! Get back! No, come on, move back! Get back! Come on! Come on, then! Come on, move!
I hope you're not going to hang about all day. James.
Sorry?
You know, you really ought to do something.
Well, I rather thought I'd give myself the day off.
From what?
Or rather, Not actually give myself the day off so much as take time out for a little research.
Are you going to spend the rest of your life like this?
What do you mean?
Of course you do. You know very well what I mean. You know, you ought to get out and do something.
My time is fully taken up with my writing,
All
and
right,
in addition to that,
leave it. I shouldn't have spoken. I knew it was a mistake before I opened my mouth. Oh, if you're going into town, see if there's any wine.
What kind?
As long as it's pressed from the grape, buy it.
Oh, yes? Yes, this is he. What can I do for you? Very well, if I must.
Who was it?
The Germans want to see me.
But there is nothing here to tell me who is the subject of your investigation.
No, Herr Kommandant?
Who instigated this inquiry, Reinecker?
The Geheime Staatspolizei, sir.
Now, you listen to me. SS or no SS, you are a serving officer of the Wehrmacht. If you were to embarrass Army High Command by doing the Gestapo's dirty work, you'd be disowned.
I hardly think my inquiries would provoke that much interest, sir.
You're being disingenuous. Deliberately, I think. You're well enough thought of in high places, otherwise you wouldn't be where you are. But in this matter, you serve two masters. Can you please them both?
With respect, Herr Major, that is not the case. I am merely under orders to pursue a line of inquiry. I fail to see why it should be an issue with Army Group.
Pursue your line of inquiry, Herr Hauptmann. Damn the SS. And damn its separate command structure.
Dieter, there isn't a Wehrmacht officer alive who doesn't look with disfavor on the SS, but if you'll allow me to say so, criticism of them...
Do you know that there are now over 250,000 of them, and every single one answerable to Himmler?
Who, in turn, answers to the Fuhrer, as do all of us.
Yes, I'm sorry, Ernst. I hadn't meant to embarrass you.
You're not embarrassing me. I'm just trying to prevent you embarrassing yourself.
What is this damned line of inquiry of his? Come in.
Dr. Martel, Herr Meyer.
Show him in.
This way, Dr. Martel. Thank you.
Sit down, please.
Good morning, Major.
Will you have some coffee, Doctor? Not the most elegant cup, I'm afraid.
Thank you. Now, what is this about bicycles?
If you'll excuse me, I have some inspections to make.
Dr. Martel, the German forces must have increased mobility. We require 150 machines in good order. Here is the official requisition.
Yes, but, why me?
You are the appointed member to deal with medical matters.
Well, I'm glad you acknowledged that, Major, because I have something of the utmost importance I wish to bring to your attention.
We shall first deal with this matter, if you please.
Oops! Oh. Peter.
Do you get many patients that way?
Have you come to see someone here?
Yes. The assistant to the almoner, you know, the one with the big brown eyes.
Come in.
Look, Diana Prideaux's soiree. You going?
Yes, but Daddy's not over keen.
Huh? I think the idea of a theatre group's jolly good one.
Well, he's a bit leery of Lady P.
Why? Does he think she might be after him?
And why not?
Oh, come on, she's like that with all the men.
Well, I don't agree. Daddy's very attractive.
You sound as though you might quite like her to be.
Oh, Peter, really?
Well, I suppose every daughter must get some satisfaction out of the idea that there's a life in the old dog yet.
Well, I'll tell him that. I'll tell him you called him an old dog. Are you bringing your mother?
No, she's got the vicar coming to see her.
She all right?
Yes, fits the fiddle. Oh, I see, no. No, the vicar's coming about some scheme to reclaim wool from old clothes and reknit them into clothes for children, you know. Waste not, Want not.
How are you getting there?
Shank's pony. I tell you, if this war goes on much longer, you'll have to be reshot.
It's a pity you feel as you do. It had seemed to us the civilized way.
Civilized? Taking people's personal possessions? When was theft civilized?
We have no wish to cause unnecessary hardship, which is why we are referring the matter to you.
No, I'm sorry, Major. You can do your own dirty work.
Very well. Then we shall just take the first 150 bicycles we see, regardless of personal circumstances.
How long?
1 week, Dr. Martell. Now, you have something you wish to bring to my notice.
Yes, you have some forced labor gangs.
We have some foreign workers. They are not British nationals and therefore do not concern me.
They concern me very much. The fact is...
The fact is, they are foreign and criminals. They are not within your jurisdiction.
No, but typhus is.
I'm honoured that I should seem to be of such interest.
Could think of some reason for this, perhaps?
I can think of no reason.
Sir James. It's an inherited title?
No, the KBE is for lifetime only.
KBE.
Knight Commander of the Order of the British Empire.
This title was bestowed for some particular service?
Oh, not for any particular service.
For reasons of general service to the state?
Exactly so. Thank you.
Your career was with the Corps Diplomatique until your retirement.
Oh, I must correct you there, Herr Hartmann. I was in the consular service, not the diplomatic service. My field was trade and industry as distinct from diplomacy.
That would explain it.
Explain what?
Your close and extensive ties with businessmen.
It would, yes. May I ask where all this is leading us?
Oh, we'll come to it. By and by. You were appointed to the Baltic States.
You are asking me or telling me?
I'm not playing a game, Sir James. We have certain information. I seek confirmation.
I did serve in the Baltic States, yes.
With which ones were you principally concerned?
Oh, Latvia mostly, Estonia a little, Lithuania hardly at all. Why?
And you were based in Latvia?
I had an office in the legation in Riga.
I'm sure you have a very good memory, Sir James.
I have a grand memory for forgetting.
Excuse me?
Something said by Robert Louis Stevenson.
Try and remember the first week of February, 1935.
Dear chap, that is almost 7 years ago.
You have a bland manner, Sir James. I believe it conceals a very sharp mind, as I think you intended to.
Well, perhaps you would do me the kindness to prompt my defective memory.
Of course. Early in November 1934, you rented from a local family a dacha on the Gulf of Riga.
For picnics.
On the ice?
Well, it was sometimes nice to get out and walk along the sands, even in winter.
To meet people?
Well, I am, by nature, sociable.
One man in particular, a German, from Königsberg in East Prussia that first week of February nearly 7 years ago, travelled up through Lithuania to Riga.
Really?
He stayed for one night in the Petersburg Hotel in Riga, then came by hired car to your dacha.
Well, obviously, I was not there when he called.
Oh, come now, Sir James. The man came by appointment to see you. This much we know. Also, though he did not know it and took elaborate precautions to avoid it, the man was followed to your little wooden home in the pines.
Oh, what precisely are you asking me?
Who that man was?
You know the hotel in which he stayed in Riga? Check the register. I mean, why concern yourself with me?
Oh, don't play games. It's unworthy of a man of your caliber. The Geheime Staatspolizei have, of course, checked the register. The name, of course, was false.
And the other man, the one who followed?
Died. Belated the same day. In a motor accident on the outskirts of Riga.
You are not, I hope, Herr Hartmann, suggesting that I was implicated in any way?
Quite recently. Very recently. The man who was implicated had the misfortune to fall into the hands of the Gestapo. He was able to reveal a certain amount, but not enough before he... And that is why I must pursue the matter with you.
I hope, Hartmann Reinecke, that this offensive interview is at an end.
It is not. Sit down. I must ask you formally the name of the man from Königsberg.
Sir, you have no right to pursue this matter with me. I have broken no law or regulation of the occupying power. General Richthofen guaranteed the lives, property, and liberty of all peaceful inhabitants. And I am entitled to rely on that promise. Unless, of course, you do not propose to honor the word of one of your senior commanders.
Your taunt is both unnecessary and undeserved. Now, please, the question.
I refuse to answer the question, and I trust that I shall hear no more of this matter.
Be sure, Sir James, that you will.
Do you have to write up your clinical notes in the kitchen?
Sorry, dearest. Am I in your way?
Yes.
Well, it's so darn cold in the consulting room.
Well, I'm sure it wouldn't matter if you lit your gas fire a little earlier.
No, not before surgery. Anyway, I'm in the hospital all the afternoon. What you making?
Haricot pie.
Yeah? 3/4 pound of brown haricots, 2 cups of mashed potatoes, 2 onions, parsley, margarine, pepper and salt, 1 egg. Sounds positively Luke Cullen.
Hello, Claire.
Hello, Curly, what you got there?
Peter's given us some eggs.
Oh, marvellous. Stick 'em in the haricot pie.
And there's a French bird in from Somalia with some wine.
I say. Muscadet.
Oh.
You're not sticking that in the haricot pie.
Oh, Philip, you stop it. Enough is enough.
I'm sorry.
Well, it's just that when you spend hours trying to get even the smallest thing and then you come in and...
I'm sorry. I was just trying to be flippant.
Well, actually, I thought we might take the wine to the Pridos.
What, share it round?
Well, it's a good idea.
Yes, Peter's coming.
Thank goodness for another man.
Oh, really, Philip, you talk as if the poor woman was a man-eater.
Daddy fears he may stimulate her gastric juices.
I don't think that's a very nice thing to say.
No. Sorry. What do the Germans want?
150 bicycles.
Oh, well, they'll be lucky you can't buy one for £50.
Well, either we get them and get a reasonable price for them, or the Germans are going to take the first ones they come across.
Is the committee going to do it?
I think we have no choice.
Well, the people will love you.
Well, there you are.
Well, I hope you're not going to start with mine. I need it.
I don't think they need ladies' models. Anyway, they've got more immediate problems on their plate at the moment. There's a rumour of typhus in the labour camps.
Well, you didn't tell me that.
No, I know. I only bumped into old Parsons this morning.
Yes, but you know old Parsons. Is there any truth in it?
It's difficult to say. I taxed the Felt Commandant about it, but he wasn't too eager to talk about it. Not surprising in view of what it used to be called.
What?
Jail fever.
These ought to do. If they come searching for you, I'll try to send them away. If they want to look in here, I'll... Oh, Jan. Oh, you haven't dried your hair. Oh.
You remember that last night? Dinner at Otto Schwarz's restaurant.
Breakfast at the railway station.
Christmas 1934. I never went back to Riga.
We left at Easter.
Did James
No. No, he never found out. We went to Brussels, our last posting. When war broke out, we came here. James decided to retire. It was the wrong decision on several counts.
I'm sorry it was such a shock for you.
It was silly of me. I don't normally behave like that. What did you think when you saw me standing there?
I couldn't believe my eyes.
I never believed in fate till now.
Good morning, Ernst. Have you got your bicycles?
We shall.
Of course you will. Martel is a reasonable man.
They all are. It makes one's job so much more difficult.
Would you prefer the jackboot?
No. Anyway, even brute force must give way to persuasion sometime.
No, why haven't we thought of that before? Thank you.
Martel came to tell us something.
That the tide of war is turning against us, as he tells me so often.
No, it's serious.
So would that be, don't you think?
There's typhus among the tote workers.
Martel told you this?
He's heard a rumor. One of the civilian supervisors is billeted on an acquaintance of his.
Is there any truth in it?
It's been diagnosed in one man and 2 others are showing symptoms.
Have you spoken to the medical officer?
Oh, yes. He's ordered their quarters fumigated with sulfur dioxide and their clothes deloused with pyrethrum.
Clothes? Have you seen their rags? They're disgusting.
Yes, I'm glad they're nothing to do with us.
Yes, well, if it spreads to the garrison troops, they will be very much to do with us.
I've sent off instructions to their Lagerführer that I should be informed of all developments. I also suggested he should notify Einsatzgruppe that it is in everybody's interest that the foreign workers should be hygienically housed and clothed.
Well, yes, of course.
He said they are the scum of Europe and should be treated as such.
In other words, keep out of it.
He said something rather odd. He asked how we knew about the outbreak.
What did you tell him?
I told him we'd heard a rumor from outside.
So?
He thought it might have come from Reinecke.
James,
Struck lucky, as you can see. Bring a couple of glasses, would you?
oughtn't we to keep it till tonight?
Oh, we should let it breathe a little. A couple of small glasses from the top will increase the surface area wonderfully.
What did the Germans want?
Rather odd, actually. They were asking about a chap from Riga. Steady, Arnie, you all right?
Nothing broken. This man from Riga, it wasn't Colonel Artachevsky.
Oh, a very strange question. No, it wasn't, as it happened, but why do you ask? Miss White's not half bad.
This is why I asked.
What? Good God.
Yes, you're coming along nicely.
Yes, I haven't had that sharp pain back again.
Oh, that's good.
Thank you.
I think you can go home tomorrow. Fluid seems to have cleared up. But you're going to have to be careful. Try not to be out in the bad weather. And keep as warm as you possibly can. Now, I'm giving you a certificate for the milk board. For extra milk.
Thank you, Doctor.
But it's for you, not the rest of your family. Understand?
Yes, Doctor.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes, Doctor.
You've got a bicycle, by any chance?
In Poland, we knew war was inevitable, and I was recalled to my regiment. But just before the Germans invaded, I was posted to GHQ, Field Intelligence. It took just 14 days for the German panzers to roll us up like a carpet. So we moved south to Kolomaya. 2 days later, the Russians invaded us too. So HQ moved over the border into Romania, where we were interned. And when we saw it was only a matter of time before the Romanians handed us over to the Germans, some of us, decided to escape back into Poland and go north to the Baltic. I got as far as Stettin. It took me 6 weeks, walking, traveling in buses, avoiding patrols. In Stettin, I waited for 4 days for a boat sailing to Oslo, from where I hoped to voyage to Britain. The mate on the ship hid me beneath sacks in the food store. Just before we were to sail, the police came on board. They came straight to where I was.
The mate?
A communist. I was one small step to what he wanted. And he took it.
And then?
Berlin. Where I was questioned quite often and forcibly. They'd found my army records and knew what I'd been in Riga.
What we all had been in Riga.
I told them what was the truth, that I was military attaché in Riga and knew nothing of importance. That my time in Latvia had been spent on purely formal occasions. And social engagements.
Did they believe you?
It was the truth.
But not the entire truth.
What is in life?
And then?
They refused to treat me as a prisoner of war on the grounds that I'd been captured after my country had capitulated. They said I'd broken my parole in Romania and was a criminal and would be sent to a labor camp. First I was at Boulogne building coastal defenses, then at Le Havre, and then I was sent here.
How have they treated you?
Worse than you can imagine.
Well, what are your plans?
They mustn't get him back.
No, of course not. But we shall need help.
He must stay here.
Yes, but he can't stay in hiding forever. He will need identity papers, a ration card.
I know who'll help.
Got my first bicycle softening.
Oh, good. Only leaves 149 more to get her. Where'd you get it?
There's someone at the hospital.
A patient?
Yeah, he's an old chap, getting over pneumonia.
That sounds a bit unfeeling.
Oh, what do you mean? He's not going to need it for at least a couple of months.
This war's making you hard.
No, just practical. Oh, it's not as though I'm actually putting him down to get his blinking back. Hey, that's not a bad idea.
Oh, what a disgraceful thing to say.
More recipes.
Yes, I'm copying them out for the Women's Institute.
Good for you. What's a Christmas dish?
Vermicelli, breadcrumbs, mixed herbs.
Oh, Christmas was supposed to be a season of good cheer. What luckless person's going to get that?
You, for one.
Roll on, Lent.
Oh, well?
Good heavens.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, he means that you're looking rather super, isn't that right, Darby?
Absolutely right. Very super.
Oh, good. Well, it's going to take us over half an hour to walk there. And you haven't even changed yet.
Oh, it's not formal, is it?
No. But Lady P always likes Daddy to look nice.
Oh.
Come in.
You wish to see me, Herr Commandant?
Oh, yes, Reinecke. I don't think you're much affected, but I'm issuing this.
I don't quite understand. No contact with the foreign labour force?
That's right.
Who has authorised this order?
As local head of Field Command 515, I have.
It cannot apply to me, Herr Major.
It certainly applies to you and every member of the German military forces.
I shall get on to SS headquarters in Paris.
Reinecke! What is the matter with you? We are concerned with a dangerous and infectious disease.
What?
Typhus. Among the taut organization workers over at Perel Bay. Now, until they've been deloused and their quarters cleansed, they are not to be approached. They will be confined to their camp until the medical officer is satisfied the risk is over. Why do you object to such basic and sensible measures, Reinecke?
Sorry, Herr Major, I misunderstood.
Der Lagerführer thought you might have known. I take it you did not.
Of course not.
The organization Todt run their own affairs without reference to us. Much like the SS.
Here we are.
Thank you, sir.
Party, just like old times.
Not quite.
Well, we must do the best we can.
Good heaven.
Try one, I dare you. Actually, the tin was getting rusty.
I think it's cold enough. Time was I'd have put it in the fridge, but who needs a fridge these days?
Well, it doesn't seem cold in here.
Ah, but you've got youth on your side, my boy.
If you got out and about a bit more, it would help.
Oh, I see him around, cutting a very spry figure. Thank you.
He spends far too much time stuck away in his study.
You're writing a book, aren't you, sir? Oh, more a monograph, really. The meaning of diplomacy.
Well, I suppose we're in the middle of a prime example of it, or rather the lack of it.
I don't know. Wasn't it Clausewitz who said that war is the continuation of a policy by other means?
A typically German attitude.
And talking of war, I'd like a word with you.
Yeah?
A little later on.
Well, now I'm delighted you could all come. Dennis and Tanya Mansell will be along later. I hope.
Good.
I don't know if any of you have done amateur dramatics before.
Well...
James and I started a group in Latvia, a very cosmopolitan assembly of talents. English was spoken with more assorted accents than you'd have believed possible.
God knows what would have happened if we'd been asked to act in Polish or in German.
Oh, don't take any notice of James. He only ever got to play butlers.
Ah, yes, sir, but that's because I had a very splendid garden party tailcoat, you see.
Well, your luck's in. There's a butler in the play I've selected as our first venture.
Yes, I'm not at all surprised.
Isn't we getting ahead of ourselves just
Now,
a bit?
Philip.
I mean, if we're actually giving performances, it could be difficult. An emergency might arise.
There's no use trying to play hard to get. We'll give you an understudy.
What's the play?
A most amusing piece by Ivan Novello called Fresh Fields.
I know that. Didn't we see that in London?
In that theatre in Piccadilly?
Yes. What was it called?
The Apollo.
That's in Shaftesbury Avenue.
What do they all call those theatres? I never remember.
A Criterion.
Criterion, that's the one.
It's about a rich Australian family who come over here and are introduced to high society by an impecunious but aristocratic English family.
Yeah, there's somebody in it called Lady Lillian Bedworthy.
Oh, I wonder who's going to play her. Peter, you can play the young, good-looking but languid son, Tim. Typecast. Philip, you're Tom Larkham, who used to run a pub in Brisbane.
Oh, but I can't do an Australian accent.
No, you can run a pub, though.
I'm sure you'll do it very well. Olive.
Really, to make the most extraordinary.
Olive? You're Lady Mary Crabbe, a sensible, practical person.
Oh, that sounds
and
good.
Claire,
Crabbe.
you're Una, the clumsy Australian daughter.
Typecast.
I've given Una's vulgar mum to Tanya Mansell.
Well, I'm sure she'll be charmed.
Yeah, she'll probably give it back.
And Lillian Bedworthy?
Me, darling. James is old Ludlow the butler. Now, look, I've only got one French's acting edition, so you'll have to gather round and look at the set. Come on, all of you. I've typed out your parts individually, so there'll be no difficulty there. Now, here
Right,
we
so look at
are.
all this. Yeah, Lady Mary Crabbe, that's you.
That's
Philip.
all. Yes,
Philip
yes.
and Lady Mary Crabbe, that's a good one.
Now, perhaps you'd all like to look at the set. You see, there's a chandelier here. I hope that's not going to be a great...
Colonel Archichesky, Dr. Philip Martel.
Oh, Dr. Martel. I'm glad to make your acquaintance.
I'm sorry to keep you so long. I'll see you in the mess.
Herr Commandant. Herr Commandant. About the typhus outbreak.
Spread to the troops.
No.
What then?
Their Lagerführer has just informed us. They have one man missing, and he's a typhus contact.
Oh, they'll be looking for you.
They cannot have known when I broke away.
Oh, they'll search all along the route.
Then I must hope that when they get here, they do not find me.
Yeah, for your sake and the Preda's.
Oh, thank you. I think we should join the others.
Yeah, James, tomorrow I'll get onto the Essential Commodities Committee to see about a substitute ration book for him.
Substitute?
Yeah, for the one he lost.
Yes, but they want to see his identity card.
Of course.
Well?
Well, they're printed by the local press. I'll see if I can get a photographer up here first thing.
I see.
Listen, could you tell them I'm on the phone or something? It won't be a minute.
Yes, but why?
I want a word with our friend. You feeling all right?
Pardon?
Well, apart from being half-starved and exhausted, you feel all right? Any malaise or headaches?
No.
How many of you are there?
About 50.
You in huts or what?
In huts, yes, there are 4.
You segregated from the local community?
We are segregated by barbed wire and Alsatian dogs. To what purpose is your question?
Oh, bear with me. What happens when any of you get sick?
If one cannot work, one does not eat. It guarantees good health.
Yes, but there must be a
If
case.
one dies, one dies.
Has there been any sickness recently?
Oh, 2 days ago, one man was ill.
What happened to him?
He was sent to the main camp on holiday.
Can you describe his symptoms?
He became feverish, unable to stand.
You saw this yourself?
He was in my hut.
Didn't notice if he had a rash, did you?
His wrists had red blotches.
Your clothes, the ones you were wearing.
Diana took them.
Mary crosses behind table to the fireplace.
Oh, do you want me to do it now?
Yes, go on. Oh, James, get off the stage.
Sorry, James. I thought we were...
Right. Now, enter Lillian Centre. Oh, thank heavens they've gone.
You made a nice exhibition of yourself.
I go to the sofa. A very natural mistake.
Oh, don't be grand.
I'm not being grand. Sits. What a dreadful young woman, and that mother.
Well, I rather liked them.
What are you doing?
I don't see that.
No, darling, I'm not saying a line. What are you doing with your hands?
Oh, yes, I see. I'm arranging the flowers. Above table right, it says.
I see. What were they doing here?
Friends of Jim's Australians.
Ah.
What do you mean, ah?
Just ah.
Ah.
Good heavens.
Oh, be quiet, James. You're not on yet. Tim, enter centre. Pretend to close the double doors, Peter.
Mind your fingers.
You've got nice friends, you have. What was all the screaming?
Go on.
Oh, yes. Just laughter, dear. It does sound a bit strange in this house, doesn't it?
Now, I made a small cut here. The door bursts open centre and Una appears.
Let's close
her. She comes to behind the sofa.
I'm so sorry. I left my muff.
Darling, Una's an Australian, remember?
Oh, yes. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, wait a minute. I take my from stool down right.
Down right is there.
Down right. And crossing to Una, he dows. Is this it?
Thanks. I'm always leaving things about. Thanks so much, Toodaloo. Oh, that's good.
And she rushes out of the door.
What a frightful girl.
Where's Philip?
Olive.
Sorry.
Right, what a frightful girl.
Not so frightful. Anyhow, you'd better get used to her, and her mother, and her uncle.
Why?
They're coming to live here.
To live?
Mother, she's fainted.
I'll bring her round.
And she does so by advancing on Lillian, raises her hand to slap her hard as the curtain falls to the end of the first act.
We'll have to spread it out a bit.
Really hit.
Well, I wouldn't dream of it.
Just raise your
You
hand.
and I must have a talk.
Squat there. On the other side of the door when Claire comes in.
If they haven't found him by this evening, I shall insist that we take part in the search. Come in.
Good morning.
Good morning, Herr Commandant.
Good morning.
The missing OT worker. The typhus contact.
Well?
I know where he is.
It's a notifiable disease with a high mortality rate, especially in a rundown population.
Well, Diana has burnt all his clothes.
The chap should be in quarantine.
Of course. But that's impossible under the circumstances.
James, doesn't it strike you as a pretty remarkable coincidence that the chap you first knew in Latvia should end up in your woodshed on Guernsey?
Well, coincidences do happen, otherwise there wouldn't be a name for them.
Yes, doesn't it also strike you as a bit odd that so far there appears to have been no search for him? Especially in view of the fact that he's a known typhus contact. You'd have thought the whole island would be turned upside down.
Yes, you would. Unless there's something behind all this. I'm beginning to wonder.
There is something, isn't there, James? What is it?
Yesterday I was sent for by the Germans.
Why?
But I think I should tell you, Philip, that my work in the Foreign Service was not quite what it seemed to be. I had other responsibilities besides arranging trade receptions. I think all this could be connected with that.
Go on.
Before the war, the Baltic states were a hotbed of intrigue. Poles, emigre Russians, a large German element. Now, Riga, in particular, was a center for intelligence operations. Early in 1935, I recruited a German cipher clerk working in the Oberkommando of the Wehrmacht Communication Center in Königsberg, East Prussia. Much vital information was passed by this man, and then the Abwehr, German military intelligence, became suspicious.
By withholding knowledge of this man's whereabouts, you have put at risk the entire community.
But, Herr Commandant, with respect, I didn't know that he was a typhus contact.
You knew yesterday. If this disease spreads, I will have you recalled. What is more, Major Friedel informs me that you have been plotting with the organization Tut. It's time you explained.
I'm not sure that I'm empowered to explain.
Reinecke, if you do not explain yourself, I will have you arrested.
It concerns Gestapo inquiries into the pre-war intelligence activities of Sir James Prideaux.
Thank you. Now it concerns me.
In 1935, it was suspected by the Abwehr that Prideaux had recruited one of the cipher experts from the Army Communications Center in Königsberg. An agent was sent to keep him under surveillance, but before he could report in detail, he was knocked down by a car.
An accident?
No, it's thought unlikely. Shortly afterwards, Prideaux was recalled to London, the codes were changed, and the Abwehr decided there was insufficient reason for further concern.
In that case, what is there left to investigate?
However, very recently, an unrelated Gestapo inquiry has indicated that a spy did in fact exist in 1935 and is still in contact with the enemy.
But how can all this be known?
Feedback from sources in London suggests our codes are being read.
Good God.
Do you think that Sir James Prideaux knows who that man is?
Exactly, Herr Commandant.
How does your missing OT worker get involved in this?
Whilst Prideaux was under surveillance, it was observed that his wife was conducting a liaison with the Polish military attaché, Colonel Artichevsky. SS headquarters in Paris traced this man to an OT camp on the French coast. He was interviewed and sent here.
For what reason?
To escape and seek refuge with the Prideaux. It was calculated that the wife would hide him, and a serious offense such as harboring an escaped prisoner would enable us to arrest him, charge him, and send him to Germany.
For questioning by the Gestapo?
Hmm.
Poor fellow.
Why would the Polish colonel concur in this entrapment?
It was either that or concentration camp.
What a very dirty business.
It's war.
Seems to me you're in very grave danger.
Not in Guernsey.
Anywhere else and you'd disappear from sight until they got what they wanted out of you.
Yes, but they can't get me away from here against my will, unless...
Unless there's a serious breach of the law?
Exactly.
It's a trap.
Could be, yes.
Well, you've got to hand Artichevsky over before it's too late.
I can't.
What?
I can't because of Diana.
What do you mean?
Artichevsky was Diana's lover.
Good God. You sure?
Yes.
Does Diana know that you know?
No.
What's the matter with you, man? You've still got to hand him over.
I have nothing but loathing for him, but I cannot betray him. I cannot do the right thing for the wrong reason.
When do you propose to arrest Sir James Prideaux?
Immediately. With your permission, of course, Herr Commandant.
Very well.
You should be in quarantine.
in giving yourself up. It's a trap, isn't it?
You know.
I think James knows too.
Will he hand me over?
Oh, no.
Why not? If he knows it is a betrayal.
It isn't the first time you've betrayed him, is it? Only before it was with his wife.
He knows.
Well, that's why he won't tell them. He has a fastidious conscience. Goodbye.
My sister and I were not... No. My sister and I were not unattractive at our presentation. Hello, darling. At our presentation. What's the matter?
I think old James Prideaux is in very serious trouble.
Oh, but yesterday...
Today, the past has caught up with him.
Where's your husband?
He's gone for a walk.
All right, where is he?
I already told you.
Not your husband.
Good morning, Hartman Ranniger.
Good morning, Sir James. We've been looking for you.
Oh, really? May I ask why?
I warned you yesterday you would hear more of this matter. You're under arrest.
For doing what?
Harboring an escaped prisoner.
May I?
Yes.
Thank you. Hello, James Prideaux here. Yes, he is.
Ranniker? What?
The Polish colonel has let you down. His body has been found at the foot of the cliffs at Plenmont Point.
Your Polish lover has killed himself.